one, and we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Download the Uplift, a place where even when we fall, we try and uplift. I am your host, Gabriel Mark, joined as always by my awesome co-host live out there in the City of Lights, Dane Davis. What's up, brother?
Yeah, man. How you doing? How's your week been?
Yo, week 3. Here we are, dude. How does that feel when you say 3 weeks of podcasting? Do you tell people you're a podcaster now?
Not yet, but feels good.
Oh,
Um, it's week 3, and it's 1 week away from being month 1.
yo, I like that. Look at you, man. Yeah, see, you need to tell everybody, even when you go into the grocery store, like, hey, I don't know if you knew, but I'm a podcaster. You should check out our show. It's called Download the Uplift. How are you feeling? And then just have a full counseling session with the cashier.
Yeah, man. I was thinking of telling that to my boss the other day. Like, hey, man, I'm a podcaster. He's like, cool, do your job.
He's like, great, get back to work.
Get back to work.
The funny thing about doing this podcast and this YouTube channel, I'm only putting out 2 pieces of content. We are putting out, the podcast every week. Like today I was on my run and there was a kid sitting at the bench kind of like overlooking a beautiful like 81-degree day, but he looked really sad. And
Yeah.
like, dude, I'm not registered or anything and I'm still learning myself, but I almost wanted to like sit with the dude and be like, hey man, talk to me. But I genuinely felt that way. And I just was like, hey man, beautiful day, huh? I tried to spread a little uplifting positivity his way. But
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
he was like,
Yeah. Sometimes you just get that reaction anyway. But no, dude, that's cool because it reminds me of this time when I was in middle school and I was just hanging out after school, just waiting to get picked up. And this high school dude came up to me because, like, I guess their bus stopped at our middle school for some reason. But after he got off the bus, he came up to me and he's like, "Hey, man, how's it going?" And he just started talking to me. It was actually like it was a cool thing uh, for him to do. So yeah.
you felt what, like kind of included or?
Yeah, in a way. I mean, like I was literally just waiting after school, but I was kind of a quiet guy
Mm.
back then. Um, and yeah, I mean, first of all, he was like, are you okay? Like you look like the kind of guy that's gonna do some crazy stuff."
Oh,
And,
oh, oh.
yeah, and I was like, "No," I laughed about it. I was like, "Nah, that's not me at all." And then yeah, we just started talking. So yeah, that reminds me of that. Just a random person going, "Hey, how's your day going?"
Yeah.
Sometimes it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, there's something powerful about that. Just asking, hey, how are you? It is. It's, hey man, someone kind of gives a darn. No,
Yeah.
that is. So I can totally get it. And that's what I almost wanted I could have been like, "Hey, are you doing all right?" Instead of, and you could have made it real innocent. And I did. No, he was cool. And but I just used the classic, "Oh, it's a beautiful day. I heard it gets pretty toasty here." But listen, even if, speaking on that note, we have like 3 new subscribers this week. And I want, if you're watching this week as a new subscriber, genuinely from the bottom of my heart, it means so much. And it's that motivation to keep going and keep moving forward, keep uplifting, all that stuff, all my whole mission statement and the whole point of this channel. But the fact that like people that I didn't know click subscribe really made me feel it was awesome. When we first did week 1, I was like, hey, even if one person listens, that's pretty freaking cool. And the fact that we're up 3 subscribers it was awesome. So thank you so much, y'all.
Yeah, man. Yeah, thank you for subscribing. It's 3 episodes, 3 subscribers, and
Come on.
we got 10 downloads.
10
You know,
downloads. Yeah.
that's cool.
New kind of format, the show. I want to try and hit some current events first, and then we'll talk about some cool, like, self positivity, self love stuff that I learned, like as our like kind of quote and lesson of the week. But dude, I want to get right into it. When you're listening to this right now, faithful audience of Download the Uplift, it's Memorial Day. You think of Memorial Day, it's a day to remember, dudes that were super brave. Like I graduated high school in 2003, and if you signed up, like you were going. So Memorial Day is all about like remembrance to me, and it's like 4th of July is put your NASCAR full USA flag outfit on and go crazy, but Memorial Day, I guess, is focused more on remembering service members.
Yeah, for sure, man. And happy Memorial Day to everyone from me as well. It's awesome.
Cool. Yeah, that's a big day, and it's also for all like the party goers and people that want to like kind of almost celebrate the first few days of it being warm again in summertime, even though summertime's June 21st. This is the day to like, here we go. We're getting into the roasty toasty days. I also want to bring up that the new Beetlejuice trailer dropped. Did you get a chance to see it?
No, but you didn't say it 3 times, so like you didn't say Beetlejuice 3 times.
Well, the first one came out in 1988. So that's pretty wild that I think most of, if not all of the cast members are returning for this reboot. And it's called just Beetlejuice. So I think,
Okay.
did you
Yeah.
see the
Well.
first one?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dude. It was. Yeah. It's a classic movie. It's like a rite of passage to see that movie almost, especially on Halloween.
Do you automatically think of jump in the line? Dun, 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 dun. That's what comes to my mind first. What about you?
That was a good scene for sure. What comes to my mind is like the parents with their faces just ripped
Oh,
open. Yeah.
yeah. I think McDonald's had Happy Meal toys or something like that that were different, like, or you could pull off the head and there was like a little one. I think Johnny has one of those. It's
Yeah, yeah.
it's the
Yeah,
little
with
Beetlejuice.
like the guy in the suit and he's got the tiny head.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
one? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, 1988. So that was 36 years ago. And so you did see the original, but you didn't see the new trailer.
I know I haven't seen the new trailer. I did see something about like a new Beetlejuice coming out, but yeah, I didn't see the trailer for it or anything.
Yeah, Winona Ryder still looks good. What was his name? The dude that actually was Beetlejuice. Who was that?
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton, Batman. Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Well, that's definitely an iconic movie, and I jotted this down when we were doing our little technical run. There was a thing on X, and it was the night that Star Wars Episode One: The Phantom Menace opened. I think that was 1999, and like the hype, like, people playing with plastic lightsabers, and when
Oh
it did,
yeah.
ba, 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 the Star Wars theme, but literally people were cheering, and that gave me like crazy goosebumps.
Yeah, dude. Like it's crazy to think about some of the times in history, like to be alive, like when Star Wars first came out. Now it's like it's pop culture. It's like part of everyone's lives in some kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just like imagine seeing that for the very first time.
When those came out in 99 to like I think 2005, 1, 2, and 3, those were unbelievable. And it's crazy because there's like interviews with George Lucas. They're like, uh, do you think it's ever possible for there to be an episode 7? And he goes, no, there was no episode 7. Like he was definitive about it. I mean, you guys do whatever you want. I think 7, 8, 9, 7 was okay. 8, 9 were absolute trash. I walked out of 8 and 9.
Mm.
It's such a bummer because. But one of the things I really like when I'm journaling, actually, I listen to like Star Wars like soundscapes or soundtracks. And I think both of us being music people, that's one of the things that actually makes the movie so good, or movies in general, is like when the sound, like Game of Thrones, like that sound package was just whoa, unbelievable. And Star
Yeah,
Wars definitely for sure.
the music and the sound effects and all that, like they play such a key role in the movie. Like um the theme of Star Wars, it's
Mm.
iconic, and like it, it's part of it's because of the movie itself. Like people love the movie, but at the same time, like the score was just incredible as well.
There you
It's
go.
like
The score.
theatrical. It's like you're watching this whole like epic space theatrical play happen in front of you with a live orchestra. So
Mm. Oh, they do have that. They do have stuff like that where you can go watch the movie and there's like a live orchestra playing along right in
yeah,
front of you. That would be epic. I think they did
dude.
that with Game of Thrones too. What would be one of your top movies or TV shows as far as scores go? Oh my gosh, you're so professional. Like what
As
would
far as
what like
scores
what?
go, I would say it's a toss up between like Game of Thrones,
Mm-hmm.
Lord of the Rings,
Mm.
and Star Wars. I'd
Oh,
I'd say those have and you know what? Actually, Harry Potter. Harry Potter has some great music
yeah,
in it as well. So those four, it's like a toss up between all of them.
that's wild. You brought that up because during our lesson of the day, we're going to actually talk about J.K. Rowling a bit. Do, 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 do,
Yeah, yeah.
do.
You got that
Uh,
one.
dude, what I think, dude, the first Harry Potter was like, was that 98 or something crazy like that? I don't know. Either way, it's just if
No.
CGI went from where it was in 99, let's say, with the Phantom Menace to how it is today, which stuff looks amazing. Like, I'm 39. What's it going to be in 10 years? Like, is it going to be like I'm looking at just real life? Like, I know it's definitely an old, like an old man type thing to think, but they probably thought that in the 80s when, or early 90s when Laserdisc came out. They're like, yo, do you see this? Like,
Yeah.
where's it going to go?
Yeah, no, it's crazy how fast like all that technology is advancing, but the thing is, like you look at some of the visual effects, like it I mean, I could get into this for like for hours, but just brush up on it a bit. But when you look at visual effects from like movies back in the day that combine practical effects with the CGI,
Yep.
it still holds up. It still looks real. It's like looks just as good as movies these days, if not better sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I think like the artistry is also part of that. It's not just the technology, but it's just like how people figure out how to balance that. Like, let's put some real stuff in there and then like enhance it with CGI. You know,
Mm.
like so,
Yeah.
some of the greatest CGI is the stuff that you don't know is CGI.
And what you just said about practical effects is they're at this is a Star Wars podcast. All of a sudden, there's a picture of George Lucas in front of like all of the physical effects, like the little mini Yoda and like half of the Death Star in the background. It's so wild what they
Yeah.
did because there just wasn't the technology that we have today, and that's freaking cool. That freaking cool. Yeah, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, dude, like pioneering that and using like whatever technology they could to just yeah
Ooh, one
make
more
it happen.
to note for scores, dude. Gladiator. I watched that again
Mm.
recently with Russell Crowe. Dun, 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 dun. It's so like, yes, go, go.
Yeah.
My name is something, something alias, not Marcus Aurelius. I think that was, I don't know, either way. Great movie. If it's been a while, guys, go. I think it's on Netflix or something. Wherever it's streaming, go watch Gladiator because it's good.
Hey
It's
man, I got
amazing.
a tiki mug this
Oh,
week.
hey, I do too. It's the official cup of Download the Uplift. If you want to get down with us, you have to have a tiki cup. Another thing I
Ooh,
want to hit on is Black Ops 6. Full announce reveal is June 9th. Call of Duty Black Ops 6. I don't think you are a big Call of Duty guy, right? You're
I was huge into Call of Duty back in the day, like
okay.
Modern Warfare 1 and 2, and then the first Black Ops.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, like I was playing it all the time. That and Halo, but yeah, I don't know. It like just it felt like Assassin's Creed. Like one was getting released every year, so I lost track of it. I was like, okay, well,
Wow.
but I know you like playing Call of Duty and stuff like that still, right?
No, I mean, I was well. When I think of Black Ops, I just think of was it one or two that had zombies? When that we would play that for hours, just the
Mm,
constant flood of zombies and the same level, the same game, and Black Ops was freaking cool. I play Halo. Like we have a group text. It's literally dudes from all over the country, and it's just like. But most of the time, like we don't even necessarily play that much. I mean, when we do, especially when we're all on, if it's like a Friday, Saturday night, or Sunday, it's
yeah,
fun because we kind of know each other and stuff. But yeah, no, I'm a Halo guy if anything these days.
no,
And
that's
the
cool, man.
last thing I want to talk about for current events, ladies and gentlemen, is the House just turned down, and this isn't a political show, but they turned down um, a movement that was going to introduce central banking digital currency, and I think thank God, because that's really sketchy. If anybody can control and just shut off your money, so I thought that was
It's crazy to even think about like what's going to happen with currency and stuff like that with all the crypto and uh, all that going on. There's so many dodgy cryptocurrencies out there, but
oh.
you know, there's some legitimacy. Like the technology is legit and everything, but just yeah, so many scams
Would you
going on.
say there's any doji ones out there? Anything else in the news you want to hit, dude? Like anything that you feel like bringing up? I know you don't do any show prep, but you know, I'm just, I'm just kidding, brother. Anything that like you noticed this week, or anything weird happened to you?
Well, I actually have done some show prep in the past couple ones, but I was like, well, it's cool. Like you bring up topics that you're wanting to talk about, and I react to it. I'm like, okay, it's like off the
Mm.
top of the head. Oh, dude, there was something that just got passed that I was kind of excited about, but I'm trying to think of what it was. So probably probably nothing to add to that until I remember it. Um,
Sweet.
yeah.
Man, my back hurts from carrying the show. We're gonna mess around with it. We're gonna mess around with timelines, but I kind of like it, and I don't force it. I just thought that was cool. Beetlejuice movie, and a couple random things. But yeah, the whole reason for the channel is all about uplifting you at home and in your car and walking your dog right now. So I'm gonna start off our lesson of the week with a quote. It is the only realization of tomorrow is our doubts of today. Franklin D. Roosevelt. And the subject this week, we're going to talk about overcoming self doubt. So, first impressions, what do you think of when we talk about overcoming self doubt?
Oh, there's so much. I mean, there's so much stuff that I'm going through right now where, it's like doubting yourself or like overthinking, second guessing things is horrible. Or just to be in that like frame of mind because it becomes a habit, I think.
Mm,
Or at least it does for me.
yeah, exactly. Understanding what it is. You could be starting a new job, you could be uh, deciding to move across the country. You could be pursuing some kind of a passion, or you could be um, deciding to record an album or a film or start a podcast or something. And um, dude, it can be crippling sometimes to people. Just those voices in your head saying, "Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it." Trying to overcome that sometimes could be a really hard thing to do, because that little devil that's inside your head saying you could never do this, you could never succeed with this. And unfortunately, I'm sure a lot of ideas have never even been attempted by people that who knows where we could be at, or what kind of new song or movie or invention could be out right now, just because people have given into that little voice.
Yeah. No, or like the first sign of failure or something like that whenever you're trying to do a project, like that often leads people to like second guess and be like, is this even worth it? Like I just failed. But I,
Mm.
I guess like people don't often think about the fact that like almost everything out there had stages of failure. That's why things get tested and it's like, beta like versions of software and all kinds of stuff like that because like the first time you do it, it's going to be wrong.
Hmm.
And yeah, like I don't think people in real time realize that enough because yeah, the failure sucks to go through. It hurts and all that stuff. But I mean, you think about like Elon Musk right now. Like he failed so many times to try and get SpaceX to work and trying to get Tesla to work and all that stuff. Like he almost bankrupt himself, I think, multiple times doing this. And
Hmm.
eventually, I think even the final launch, the last launch he said he was going to do failed. And I think something happened like with the budget or like with the materials they had or whatever it was, and they said, all right, let's do one more. and that was a success, and it was enough to keep them going and all that stuff. So I mean, it takes hundreds sometimes of failures
Mm.
to find success.
Well, that goes with just the running theme of, improving yourself. It's like, hey, when you fall, you got to get back up. And sometimes it can be really hard. I know I sure have made a ton of bad choices that, like, I don't know if I can get back up from this, which creates, future self doubt. But it can hold you back from pulling the trigger in general. Even doing this channel, when Dustin Coins, that was the album we made, came out, I remember it went live and I decided to pay for Instagram promotion. I was in the RV already, releasing an album. Didn't even do a local show. I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna go on the road, see what happens. But
Do
no,
shows on the
I
road.
was all this hype, and I decided to pay Instagram for to push the promo video to go listen. And I remember it was like November 2021, and you want to talk about the amount of negativity. It's like, dang, man, people are mean, bro. Like, oh, I didn't know Jon Snow was gay. Like, or just,
Uh,
oh, this trash again. It's like, it's just it. And then me saying to myself this year and recently that I wanted to start another YouTube channel and start another endeavor that has you put yourself out there. Like, I had not crippling self-doubt, but a whole lot of it.
mm,
They're the feeling that I know it's going to happen. I know that, okay, we have 105 subscribers now. A lot of those people are from chicken parm reviews, from music, from RV videos, but we're all here together on Download the Uplift now. But I know as this channel grows, who the heck do you think you are for doing this? Or what right do you have to give advice for mental health? What, blah, blah, blah. And right
mm.
there, me just saying that is self doubt. But I know it's going to happen. I'm going through all the stuff we talk about, and I'm preparing myself. I get the armor on, but just to even launch episode 1 of this podcast or my first solo video, it's, dude, self doubt's a big thing because you don't want to feel hurt from outside stuff, but also like, yeah, that's what's the other driving force from self doubt more than just, if you stay safe and you stay, doing your normal everyday activities and not trying to look outside the box, everything's going to be all right. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's also it's a this fear of failing,
Mm-hmm.
and then like something for me that I've thought about quite a few times is like let's say that something I did, like my music or whatever, let's say that broke out, and it got played in front of a bunch of people, all that stuff. Like, what happens? Because right now I have this dream for my music, like to get it out there, and maybe do some tours, maybe do some concerts, music videos, all that stuff. And so it's like this great vision, right? But what happens if that vision gets realized and everyone just goes, this music sucks, you know?
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, that's reality. Is this right now? It's like, I don't know. Maybe it would be good enough out there, but what if it's not? And what if it turns out to not be? At the end of the day, like, you have to try things, like, one, because you enjoy it, because you like doing it. That's your passion anyway. And at the end of the day, like, you are gonna find people eventually, the longer you do it, that enjoy your stuff, and
Mm.
you're gonna get better along the way. So
Mm.
maybe at first, you're gonna get that backlash, and you're gonna get criticism. Some of it might be valid, some of it might be like just people being people on the internet. And
Right.
yeah, but you eventually get better, and if you care about it enough, I feel like you get good enough to put out like a good product, put out like a good entertaining thing for people to enjoy. So yeah.
Yeah, well, that's another whole different element. Just the fact that it's people on the internet and the whole anonymous, like, very few people are going to say that stuff to your face. Like, hey, man, that song stinks, like, to your face, like, at 7-Eleven. I'm sure if you get to a certain level, maybe.
Yeah.
But, dude, the whole anonymity of the internet, I mean, that adds a whole different element to it. But you can't please everybody. I mean, I think Post Malone, now he's doing country stuff, he's started doing hip hop stuff, I think he's a great musician. I always say about Post Malone is that moms like him,
Hmm.
or hip hop dudes like him, or now country people like him, but there's obviously still people who like Post Malone, like Charlemagne. Oh, Post Malone, that guy's trash. Like, it's, which is crazy. Like, the dude's like a multi-time diamond record maker, but
Yeah,
it,
and one of the, like, the nicest guys ever, it
ever.
seems like. I would love to meet him because, like,
Oh,
yeah, I think he's super talented. I love his music. Um, but yeah, like, yeah, you're still gonna get people hating. And in fact, like, one of the times where, like, there was hate towards, like, Post Malone was actually when he was, like, losing weight. And it's like, what the
really? I didn't even know.
yeah, yeah, people, well, maybe it wasn't like hate, but people were commenting. They're like, is he on drugs or
Oh, yeah, on
whatever?
drugs or something.
Yeah, yeah, and like, I think he brought that up. He's like, people, like, they'll always talk about you regardless of what's happening. You can be, like, overweight, you can be losing weight or whatever, and they're always gonna, like, come up with these theories of, like, what's going on with you. And no one knows, like, no one's part of your life that intimately who's, a fan of yours if you're a public figure. So yeah, it's it's crazy to think that, yeah, like we were saying last week, it's like being held under that microscope,
Oh,
and that's like, that can be the self-doubt as well. It's like, I really want people to be looking for all my flaws because they're there. They're
yeah.
there.
Yeah. No, that's like the definition of, self-doubt right there. I think I did see one clip of Posty. It was crazy because, like you said, he seems like such a cool dude. He was walking through like a crowd, and just some kid literally to his face goes, "Hey man, your music sucks." And like, he was so caught off guard. He was like, "Hey man, that was really rude." Like, that was his response. But you're right, dude. I mean, my weird thought process is like, if I had Post Malone's number, and this is me being a fanboy, like, how many people are trying to text him? He must keep his circle so tight, like, because if
Oh yeah.
not, everybody would want to talk and hang out with him. Like, you see, when he was at the Super Bowl, which he absolutely crushed his rendition of um, America the Beautiful, I think he played. He was literally out with like the EMTs drinking beer, like before. Like, there's no
Yeah.
green room. If he is in the green room, he's playing like beer pong.
Yeah.
but um,
Just
but
hanging out.
yeah, so cool. But it's something that you said earlier, and that brings us to, okay, so what are the strategies to overcoming self-doubt? How do we get past this crippling fear of putting yourself out there? And one of the things you said was, you can't be afraid to fail, and that's on my list, embracing failure. When I listened back to even the first two episodes of this, the first week I was all over the place saying this, that, and everything jumbled up. Last week the audio was all messed up. Thank you again for your patience with that. I'm embracing that, and we're gonna work on improving from that.
Yeah, like the first sign of trouble or the first sign of failure, that's where a lot of people end up just ditching an idea.
Yeah.
And I know that both me and you have done that, before. Like, I've experienced that with, like, a bunch of things where I'm just like, like, this is, I'm I'm coming up against, like, some resistance on this, so I gotta just forget about it. It's not gonna
Yeah.
happen, But
Yeah.
sometimes it's worth, like, pushing through, and the passion, I think, is something that helps out with that. It helps you just, regardless of, like, let's put it this way, like, I've been a musician since I was 12, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've literally done everything I can to stay in the entertainment biz, including learning all the production stuff and the back end of, like, the music and the movies and stuff like that. Like, you know, not just being a musician, but doing whatever it takes to still be in this industry, you
Hmm.
know, because I have that passion for it. I love being a part of it, even if it is in the background. But it's still for the goal of like releasing music and eventually, you know, hopefully that getting out there and maybe not even making it, maybe not making that much of an impact, but putting it out there because it helps me. It helps me put out. It helps me when I put out ideas because it's not just like swimming around in my head all the time and bugging me. So
Well, that's another reason to get that notebook, get that journal going, Papa.
yeah, yeah, not for sure.
There won't be a single piece of content where I don't tell you crazy people to pick up a notepad and a pen. It costs $1. Go do it. Um,
Just on that note, like I haven't done the notepad thing yet, but I've made it a point, especially at work and stuff like that, to get things out of my head as soon as possible.
hmm.
Like if I need to remember something, I set up a task in Outlook, or I write it down in notes or whatever. Because I am I actually said this in my interview for my job right now. It's like I don't like to try to remember anything, any
Oh,
details. I want to write it down. I want to get it out of my head. I don't want to have that kind of energy focused on it. So
mm. Oh, I'm with you. Oh, bro, I have reminders for everything from
yeah,
drinking apple cider vinegar before I go to bed because supposedly it's good for your digestion. Comment
yeah,
down
I've
below.
heard that.
I drink it as soon as I wake up and right before bed, just a tablespoon with a little water.
Mm.
Supposedly, like there's YouTube rabbit holes you can go down on apple cider vinegar. Like it does everything good for you ever. So we talked about strategies to overcome self doubt, right? So right off the rip, embracing failure. Love that. Another thing is seeking support, and I think it could be. This is here. Here's my thought process with that. I think it's awesome to have a good support system, but you don't want a bunch of yes men. You
Yeah,
know, I love the fact that I have you, I have Johnny, I have my home, I have Chase, I have a not many. Like I have a couple people, but I know that will be supportive. Like you guys, even like just supportive. But I know you guys would also give it to me straight. Especially if someone becomes famous, it's probably harder and harder to find people to not just become a yes person. But when it comes
yeah,
to the actual subject of the podcast today, that support system, like even with everything that went on, you helped push me to get this podcast going, and that's support. Like, let's go, let's do
yeah,
it, and then the mic and everything, and it's having that support system will definitely, it's like strength in numbers. Okay, I want to go out. I have this self doubt. I don't want to go looking for girls, but if you got your boys with you, all of a sudden, that embracing self doubt, that self doubt goes away. He's like, I'll talk to anybody in this club.
yeah. No, for sure. And exactly like you said, you don't want people, who are just like yes men, because at the end of the day, like they're actually not there to help you out, to actually try and move you in any kind of direction, or help you in any kind of direction to make it, or
Mm,
make whatever it is that you're trying to do happen. Because like, yeah, just agreeing with everything, you're either like you're doing that because you're like, I want this person's acceptance or their money, or like something else other than like I want this person to succeed and I actually like care about what they're doing,
mm-hmm.
you know. So yeah, that's huge. And I think most people, like if they make it big or whatever, probably really latch on to people that they've known for like years and years and years, that were there from the point where they started out all the way, rising up. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, Logan Paul, yeah, his brother's Jake. Jake's the boxer. Logan, he posted a video. It was kind of intense. He was out backstage or something, and this crazed fan kid came up to him and he was like, "Dude, I just want to hang out with you. I just want to be part of the crew. I just want to be." And he was like, "Listen, dude, I got these guys that have been around me since, since day one, not necessarily childhood." He's like, "And
Yeah.
those are that's it." It's weird to welcome, newcomers in. I don't know if that really goes with what you were saying, but
No,
yeah,
well, yeah,
yeah, like you said, having
yeah,
dudes tell you how it is, and that goes to another thing that I always want to be improving. I always want to be improving. And if you don't have people to, you know, support you, but also like help you upgrade and uplift, I, I, that is so important. You think that Elon Musk is just, like this? No, dude, he's always trying to get better and better, better battery technology, better rockets, better
yeah.
X, you know?
I mean, I wonder who he has in his inner circle, like to
Oh,
tell him when he's not doing something that he should be. It's yeah, that's crazy to think about. But yeah, you need the people who are gonna and not just like tell you, but also have the wherewithal. Like so you got to try find like some people that know what they're talking about, but are also genuine.
oh, yep,
Like
yep.
like that's the biggest, like most ideal thing. It's like whatever industry you're in, you got to like like go out and meet a bunch of people in that industry, develop relationships with them, and not just like a relationship where you're trying to get something out of them, like a relationship where it's a mutual thing. And I mean, like when I started doing live sound in Vegas, I barely knew anyone who did it.
Wow.
But as I've like branched out there, like there's so many people I can hit up right now and ask them like about advice on anything, or just even if I'm if I ever was struggling for work or whatever, I could call them, and they would definitely have my back. So
That's huge.
yeah, it's essential.
But actually, one more note. This is kind of off subject for whoever's listening. Comment down below because we keep talking about Elon Musk. And I had a weird epiphany the other day. It was, if you could have anybody on Earth's email, who would it be? And I really couldn't think of anybody. I was like, okay, let's say I have Post Malone's email, like his email, not his phone number, not his Instagram, but just like their email address, like available to you, so their eyes would be on it. Comment down below, who would it be, and what would you want to say to him? I know that's so random, but now you just said Elon. I think that'd be a cool dude. But what would you say to him? But I know that has nothing to do with really self improvement or anything. It's a
Well,
random thought,
but
but I had to put this in the pod. But what would it be for you?
okay, so I mean, with like you were saying, self doubt and everything, like having a crew. I mean, that would be that kind of fits together. Like if who's your crew? If you could have anyone on your crew, if you could have their emails so you could ask them any question, you know, who would that be? I mean, honestly, Elon Musk would would be
Yeah.
like up there, man.
Well, how about this? That goes into self doubt. Like, yo, you want to talk about self doubt? Say you have to write an email to Elon Musk.
I
Like,
I I
yo,
I think I'd be excited, honestly.
ah, yeah,
It,
no way, dude. You'd reread that thing 10 times because you'd be like, yo, what did I say? I'll tell you what, when I have to answer my family sometimes, like, if it's Christmas or updates, I'm rereading it because they're all like super educated, like perfect grammar. And I'm like, dude, I don't know. And so I think we
like,
all,
do I use the what was that, the Harvard comma or whatever it's called?
I don't, I don't know what that is, but it sounds cool.
if
Um,
if I'm getting it right, if that's not right, then people know that I'm an idiot, and that's fine.
well, I just want to go over two more quick strategies of overcoming self doubt.
Oh,
Another
but
one is,
before that, who would yours be?
oh, dude, I thought about this literally on my couch, like solo. I wasn't even walking around or anything. That's how where my mind is strange like that. I couldn't because it's not like a phone number and they don't know you, so it'd be like a cold email. That's the thing. It's like
Oh,
that's what was weird. It's like they don't know who you are, but if you knew their eyes would be on the email, that's what's kind of intense about it. Like
like 100%, they would read it,
they would
but
read
they
it
they
and
don't know who
absorb
you
it.
are.
But
Yeah.
you're like, if I could, dude, maybe Joe Rogan, but that'd be a
Yeah.
hard sales pitch to be like, I mean, that'd be awesome to be on his show someday. I mean, you want to talk about goals? We're gonna have an episode about goal setting and stuff like that. But we have all kinds of episodes coming up in the future. Probably a lot of them. We'll see if my co-host is around. He doesn't really answer text messages, but we'll see how it goes. Um,
I
but yeah,
don't
one
answer
more.
two, and I'm just like in the doghouse permanently.
Now he answers everybody's text messages, but not the co-host. Another thing I wanted to bring up real quick, without getting too crazy about it, is setting achievable goals. So, okay, we're self-doubting about I talk about exercise all the time and I talk about that 20-minute walk, but that's the perfect example. Like I really want to look good in shorts this summer with my shirt off. What up, ladies? But an achievable, there's a lot of self-doubt. Oh, I don't know if I can go to the gym every day. I can't diet, dude. What if I'm with a bunch of buddies, we're having pizza, oh, I'm Italian, I gotta eat pasta. An achievable goal would be like, all right, man, 3 days this week, don't eat McDonald's. You know what I mean? That's an
Yeah.
achievable goal of doubting yourself, or I don't know if that really makes sense, but setting achievable goals is definitely a way. What would be an example in your head, do you think?
Well, for me, you've heard some of the crazy, like, outlandish ideas that are just super complicated to execute that I have.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like what I sort of try to do with that is just say, okay, this is like the pie in the sky dream, right? Which I think it's important to have that, but you got to realize like how far away that is. So don't really focus on that being the thing that you're trying to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
You got to start off with like some simple stuff. Like if I want to release my album and have, people listen to my music, like, well, start writing a song, start
Mm-hmm.
recording a song. Those are like achievable things, and stop trying to think about what everything's going to be at the end result. Just start focusing on the immediate goals. So for me, yeah, it'd be like record some vocals for one of my songs. That's an actual goal that I have right now.
Well, all right, I'm going to take that because that's a better example than I said with the gym thing, but I'm going to change yours up a little bit to make it more about the self doubt thing of more of like a goal thing. But when I think of that, okay, so you want to start with just one song or one track or whatever. Once you nail that, that's going to add all this confidence and
Mm.
defeat self-doubt into going to the next step. So I guess it's kind of a mix of both goals, but also finishing that first step just gives you that confidence boost that you need. So I don't know if that works, but that's what
No,
I
for
kind of
sure.
got from it.
Well, there's a reason why I haven't recorded the vocals yet, because it is a bit of self doubt.
Yeah.
So, yeah, overcoming that, just doing it, like jumping into it, having it be whatever it's going to be, and just see what the result is. That can sometimes, I think, be a good strategy as well. It's like, yeah, like you're cliff diving, and you're on the edge of the cliff, and you're like, I don't want to do this, but
Right.
eventually you just got to be like, screw it, I'm doing it. You jump off.
Heck yeah. They call
Yeah.
me Bodie. Um, I want to just give some examples. So, did you know that Michael Jordan, he was actually cut from his high school basketball team?
Oh yeah, yeah, I heard that.
Isn't that crazy? Or how about this one? This one's gonna it's just so funny. Walt Disney was actually fired from his newspaper for lacking imagination. But
Oh
they
my
didn't
god.
let that self-doubt creep in. I mean,
Yeah.
Mr. Walt Disney was like, they're like, nah, bro, you're good. We we need
You're
someone
good.
with a little imagination. Could you spruce it up a bit?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, who knows why they thought that of him? Because maybe he was like saving his good stuff for Disney, for his own project. You never know. Um, but yeah, like it's the greatest people of all time, like the people we look up to in whatever um industry. yeah, like they didn't start out how we see them in public. Like they didn't start out
Mm.
as their success.
Right.
So you always have to take that into consideration when you're doubting yourself because of the failure or whatever it is. Like, yeah, you're there right now, but if you improve, you could get to that level of the people like you look up to and the people you want to be. Um, and you just got to realize like they also were there as well. Like they were at the point of not knowing what they're doing and failing and not knowing what was going to work and what wasn't. And there's something about that I think about a lot, which is the people that we see who are successful. They're an isolated group. It's sort of, if you look at the most successful people of all time and you say like, well, that's what it has to be. You're looking at a very small percentage of the population. You're looking at a very isolated sort of view of things, and what makes them successful and their journey to success. Like we were saying in the first episode, it's like you're not meant to try replicate that. You're meant to just find your own path,
Hmm.
which means your own failures, your own successes, and all that stuff. So, and your own doubts and overcoming them.
Yeah, I did want to bring up one more example because you brought up Harry Potter, dude. So J.K. Rowling, she was rejected from a ton of publishers to the point where she was actually living in poverty. We talked about it, I think, the first week, how she used to write. She actually wrote like the first Harry Potter in a coffee shop.
Mm.
But dude, she dealt with serious, serious, serious self doubt and depression. I mean, I mean, I think Oprah did. There's a list of celebrities, probably all of them,
Yeah,
except for Tom Cruise. But
except for Tom Cruise.
yo, imagine that. Like she went on to write a crazy series, which is Harry Potter, but she was rejected from
Mm.
publishers and poverty, depression. You want to talk about overcoming self doubt? Like that would cripple a lot of people. When I saw all these text messages and Instagram things like "kid, quit already," blah blah blah, or I was, I don't know. I'm happy we're doing this. I'm so happy because there's so much of that self doubt that came into even relaunching, putting yourself out there. When you put yourself out there in a creative way, or a business venture, or a sports, MJ trying to chase a dream, that self doubt, dude, that's a mother right there.
Yeah, yeah, no,
But
and any bit of like I said, your obstacles and stuff like that, resistance to getting to your goals and everything, and then people saying things about it, like it's hard to deal with, especially if you already are doubting yourself anyway. Um, so yeah, like I said, I think the passion for me has like really uh kept me going on the path that I'm on, right? Because
mm,
I love doing it, and sometimes you just have to say like I love doing this. Like even if I think I'm not good enough, or other people are saying that, like I love doing it, so let me just keep doing it because you know it makes me happy. Makes me
amen.
happy doing it.
I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Good. That's so important, bro. As long as you can have that confidence in knowing that you're doing it the way you like it and you're happy with it, then that will come out. People can sense stuff like that. But it's crazy because I guess kind of last week's talking about not dwelling in the past kind of relates a bit to this. Exactly, if you're dwelling in the past, it's going to create a lot of self-doubt.
hmm,
Um but yeah, dwelling in the past of okay, I released Dust and Coins. There was a lot of haters. It
yeah,
was crippling. It was bad. I- Just in general, I want to become more and more, and I think a lot of you, when you put out content or a selfie or whatever, or a video or a podcast or whatever, you might be going through a lot of that self doubt and stuff. But just keep moving forward, guys, because like Dane just said, as long as you're doing what you love and you're happy with it, that's all that really matters at the end of the day. And people, like I said, will feed off of that. Um, yeah, dude. I don't know.
no, 100%. It's and loving what you're doing and holding on to that, doing it regardless of like, you know, what kind of success you're gonna find or whatever. Like, yeah, it could be a hobby, could turn into your career, could be something that you're world famous for one day. Who knows? But yeah, it's the to me, it's the point of life is like you do what makes you happy. You find
Hmm.
people that support that and want you to keep keep trying, keep succeeding with it, and keep going with it. That's yeah, that's the big one of the biggest things in life for me.
Mm.
So,
Don't let the nonsense that other people say hold you back. Ignore the noise. I was going to talk about that one week too, but
yeah,
yeah, no, ignoring the noise. I think like Bill Belichick when he was with the Patriots said, "Ignore the noise." Um,
yeah,
but I do want to say, guys, I want to encourage our listeners to um, reflect on your own lives and maybe circumstances where like self doubt could be holding you back. You know, write it down below, like what's holding you back from chasing that dream. You know, I'm not gonna lie, when I was watching the Red Leather podcast kid, and he had a thing. He's like, "Why would you not have a YouTube channel?" He and it makes so much sense. He's like, "I did this as a side gig," and he's like, "Why would you not?" And that
yeah,
was like such motivation for me. And it comes like, "Why not? What's holding me back?" But no,
yeah,
down below, like share your own experiences, and also share how you overcame it. I would love to hear like if something was really holding you back and you had all this crippling self doubt, like what helped you overcome it and get past it. I think that'd be really cool to hear.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Because everyone has their story with that. So,
In closing, Mr. Co-host, I know you're about to go to. Are you going to California to go chill on the beach, man? What are you doing?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Me and my girlfriend are going to Huntington Beach. Last
Awesome.
time we were in California, we went there and we had a awesome time. It was just a
Yeah.
random Sunday, kind of like at a whim. Went down, drank on the beach, and just yeah, chilled until like the sun went down. So it was cool.
HB is so dope. Did
Yeah.
you were they doing any of the bonfires on the beach? I don't think it's legal, but I think it's kind of like a gray area. Did you guys do that at all?
No, I actually I didn't see any of that.
Maybe they cut
Hmm.
down on it.
Yeah, probably. Um, but if they have any, I'll let you know for sure.
Oh, it's
Um,
great. You get the waves crashing and like sitting there with a cold Corona and like the crackling fire. Oh, that
yeah,
sounds amazing. If you ever need to transport out of a bad situation, take what I just said. You're in Huntington Beach, a nice like 78 degrees at night. You're with your loved one, cold Corona, crackling fire, waves crashing. You're welcome. I just transported you there.
I think that's a Corona ad, really.
Yeah, it's true. Well, you're welcome, Corona. I want
Yeah,
10%.
yeah. Well, it should be. It should be a Corona ad. But we're also gonna go to Catalina Island. We're
Oh,
gonna go
shoot.
golfing. Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna
You
do a
know, I would.
Catalina wine mixer.
What a good movie. They need to make
Oh
movies like
yeah,
that again.
yeah,
When
man.
I was in the RV, I had like a couple $5 DVDs, and one was half Ricky Bobby or Talladega Nights, and the other half was the Step Brothers. It was in the 2 for $5 combo, and those movies got watched. I still have them. I don't know, because in the RV internet was sketchy. Now they have Starlink. Starlink I would have gotten. Starlink is unbelievable. Elon Musk reference again.
Yeah,
He probably hears us talking about this right now. But I'm stoked for you, man. I'm glad we just got through number 3, and you know it's gonna be a journey, but it feels good, bro. It feels good to talk. It feels good to potentially give some advice to people, and I
yeah,
genuinely
man.
thank the new subscribers and anyone that does hitting like buttons, checking out reels. You know, there's a lot of content and information and fun stuff for you to check out, and you made the choice to come hang with us for a little bit, and I truly think it's a blessing, and I appreciate it. So, anything else to add?
Yeah, no, thank you for the support and everything. And yeah, I'm excited. I mean, three, well, not even three videos, two videos that are out. this is the third one, and we already got 3 people subscribing. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, again, my name is Gabriel Mark. That is my co host, Dane Davis. This is Download the Uplift, a place where even when we fall, we try and uplift. Yo, thank you so much for joining us. Have a killer week. We'll see you next time.